Today I'm going to talk about how to get picked up by traditional media. In last week's video, I gave a pretty cool client case study about how effective the combination of SEO and social media and public relations and other types of outreach can culminate into a set of synergistic results. The whole point was that it's all about the recipe, it's the combination, it's the crust and the sauce and the cheese and the pepperoni, the recipe that makes the beautiful end result, the pizza. The pizza that certainly will never have pineapple on it. However, perfecting some of these ingredients and really drilling down and getting good at one of the parts can actually make the entire synergistic effect even better. That's like going from a small personal pizza to a large family size, right? So, since I got some questions about getting picked up by traditional media, I thought I would introduce you to my friend Dave. Say hi, Dave. Dave ran a newsroom for 10 years and he actually happens to be my business partner. Dave is the mastermind and the architect behind all of the outreach that we do with traditional media and getting influencers in the digital and social media space to talk about us or our clients and get some of that buzz, that synergistic effect that helps everything else grow. In fact, I'd say the biggest secret ingredient in any of the search engine optimization stuff that we do is largely what Dave does. Although I will say that if you ask Dave to tell you what an H1 tag is, he'd probably just run away. When it comes to press outreach, a lot of people wind up going and hiring a separate PR agency, or they pay their agency thousands of dollars to just kind of send out press releases. But the one thing I've learned from working with Dave, especially since he's been on the newsroom side, you know, the side that actually receives these press releases, I asked him what happens to most of these press releases. He did one thing. Turns out that not every press release that's sent out, in fact, most press releases that are sent out don't contain any content that's actually newsworthy that a news or media organization would want to talk about. If you pay an agency to send out a press release every week or every month, guess what? They're going to send out a press release every week and every month, regardless of how newsworthy it is or is not. The problem that a lot of business owners run into when hiring an agency is they contractually agree to provide a list of services that are services and it costs time and money and human capital in order to produce these resources. But it doesn't mean that any of that stuff is going to add up to anything valuable. If you keep throwing stuff at a wall, eventually something has to stick, right? We hope. But here's one little trick Dave has actively helped us employ at our firm to get our clients more coverage and more attention. Every single press release we send out are sent in our client's name. If a press release comes from an agency, it's 99% likely to be round filed. News organizations know that if a press release is coming from an agency, that agency's been paid to produce that content. That means they're sending out the content to the news agency because they're being paid to do it. There's nothing wrong with being paid to do a press release. However, if a news organization knows that what they're receiving has not been motivated by newsworthiness, they're most likely not going to look at it. Newsrooms, we're talking TV, newspapers, radio, all of it are inundated with press releases from all sorts of agencies. Hundreds a day, if not thousands, depending on whether they're local or national or global. And what that means is, in order to get picked up by these influencers, you need to be authentic. It needs to be real. It needs to come from a place that's genuinely interested in providing value to the news agencies. That means that anything that they get needs to be authentic. They need to come from a reliable source. That means you, the expert in your field. That means they need to come from a place that's actually interested in creating value for this news outlet, and it needs to be delivered in a way that's going to make them want to look at it. If you haven't watched the video from last week, do that, the whole point of getting picked up by traditional media in order to help your online marketing is that these places are places of tremendous influence. They have websites and social profiles, they have followings. So when they talk about stuff, specifically if they're talking about you, do you know how much credibility that's going to give you just in the eyes of people that look at your website? You can then put covered by USA Today or Oprah or the local news station on your website. Huge credibility indicators, but it also shows in the search engines and other social media platforms that you're being talked about, which is going to boost your credibility with those platforms' algorithms as well. But in order to get covered by these guys, it's all about the delivery and the quality of your content. So Dave, say hi again, Dave. And I have put together a nice little piece of information for you to be able to at least get started on this. Wouldn't you like to learn from somebody that's been on the inside? So if you want to hear Dave rant for about a half an hour on how to get picked up, just click on my face and it'll take you to a page where you can get this wonderful piece of information. I really hope this helps, and I will see you next time.
Whatever you do, don't subscribe to my channel. I don't want it to give me a big head.